The national leader of the new Nigeria's People Party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, is delaying his defection to the African Democratic Congress months after engaging with the party leader due to lack of assurance that the former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi will secure the party's presidential ticket. There is currently a proposed alliance between Obi and Kwankwaso for a joint 2027 presidential ticket under the ADC. According to top politicians familiar with the process, the plan was forged by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Multiple sources also confirmed that Obasanjo helped broker the Obi-Kwankwaso conversation. He is advising Kwankwaso not to rush because he believes in southern completion of 8 years. Why? Because in Obasanjo's political worldview, stability matters, power rotation matters, and timing is everything. Obi in 2027 and then Kwankwaso in 2031 for president. This is not just sentiment, this is succession planning. But here is where things get dangerous. Insiders in Kwankwaso's camp are worried, and their fear is that the ADC is being positioned as a trap. The alleged plan is to lure Peter Obi into ADC, push him into a crowded primary, allow Atiku allies already embedded to dominate and defeat Obi at the primaries, then generously offer him the VP slot. Does that sound familiar? This is Nigerian politics 101, and Kwankwaso knows this plan. And that is why insiders are openly saying that Kwankwaso is Obi's only strong bargaining chip in ADC. And that is why this delay is not weakness, it is control. Let's not pretend Atiku Abubakar is out of the picture. He never is. The concern from Kwankwaso camp is clear that Atiku allies are already influencing ADC structures and are quietly influencing the forthcoming primary election. The party could be hijacked before primaries even begins. This explains the caution, this explains the consultation, and this explains the silence. Because once a defection happens, you lose leverage. Here is what we know. Two committees have met in Abuja and another meeting is scheduled within days. A strong conclusion is expected in 1 or 2 weeks. But don't be fooled by timelines. In Nigerian politics, one day is long. One meeting can change everything and one betrayal can reset the board. Kwankwaso will not move unless Obi's path is clear and northern interests are protected. The 2031 equation remains open. Meanwhile, Peter Obi has once again demonstrated his growing popularity as seen in the recent campaign activities in Abuja. The turnout, energy, and the public engagement clearly show that his support base remains active, mobilized, and far from fading, especially in urban and youth-dominated spaces. This is a living proof that Peter Obi is still the main political deal come 2027. Ignore him at your own peril, and that is why his candidacy attracts massive interest, anxiety, and calculation from across the political divide. Based on the 2023 general election results and the momentum it continues to show, it is clear that the APC-led government and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have learned not to underestimate Peter Obi. His popularity remains intact, his support base remains very active, and his candidacy continues to command massive national interest as 2027 approaches. Please, before we continue, I want to make a passionate appeal regarding this YouTube analytics. 96.3% of people who watch Impact Media are not subscribed to this channel, only 3%. Please know that when you subscribe, it helps YouTube show this channel to more viewers. Please do well to subscribe. Thank you. There are increasing indications that Atiku Abubakar may be scheming within the ADC. Reports of his meeting with the ADC chairman, coupled with allegations that he is not respecting zoning arrangement, have triggered fears that the party could strategically position for his ambition in 2027. Add to this persistent rumors of his decamping to another political party if he doesn't win the primaries, and it becomes very clearly why other political actors especially Peter Obi's ally, are approaching the ADC with a lot of caution. Atiku's presidential ambition is not new to us, it's not new to Nigerians. It stretches back to the early 1990s, making it one of the longest running pursuits in Nigerian political history. Having pursued the presidency since early 1990s, it is possible that age is now a key factor in Atiku Abubakar's calculation, with political windows closing and patience wearing thin on him. This may explain the urgency, the maneuvering, and the reported interest in platforms like the ADC. With Atiku moves raising questions, it is not surprising that other northern politicians within the ADC are also calculating carefully. Everyone understands that the 2027 ticket will define not just ambition, but relevance in the years ahead. Kwankwaso's decision making right now isn't random. Is strategic and deeply influenced by timing, especially when you consider his age. At this stage in his political career, time is a critical resource. He is no longer a young politician with decades to wait for another shot at the presidency or national prominence. He understands that windows of opportunity in Nigeria politics do not remain open forever, especially for leaders of his age. This is why he isn't rushing into a defection. He cannot afford to be on the losing side of the gamble. Instead, Kwankwaso is calculating his moves carefully, knowing that the next major alignment, whether it delivers real power or not, could define his legacy. Choosing to pitch his tent with Peter Obi under the ADC isn't just about personality or ideology. It reflects three key areas and considerations. By tying himself to a candidate with mass appeal as Peter Obi have shown in the 2023 elections, Kwankwaso increases his own bargaining strength. He avoids becoming politically irrelevant or marginalized as smaller politicians sometimes are. At this point of time, Kwankwaso is also looking at strategic legacy. Kwankwaso likely wants to be remembered as a kingmaker, not an also-ran. Aligning with Obi gives him that possibility of shaping a new political trajectory rather than being stuck on the sidelines. Knowing fully well that aligning with Peter Obi now enhances his chances of becoming the president in 2031. When you are older, the calculation changes. You don't get as many circles. The 2027 and 2031 elections may be the last major arenas where Kwankwaso can realistically compete for executive power. Choosing the right alliance isn't just smart, it's urgent. This is why, unlike others who might jump at the first available platform, Kwankwaso is patient, deliberate, and positioning himself alongside a movement that has momentum, broad appeal, and a youthful base. He's not running from age, he's running with strategy. At his age, Kwankwaso can't afford wasted gambles. That is why he's carefully aligning with Peter Obi, because time is not on his side, but a strategic alliance could be. Meanwhile, Atiku Abubakar has reportedly convened a high-level consultative meeting with the leadership of the Action Democratic Party (ADP). Sources suggest that the discussions are centered on the party's nomination process and the prospect of Atiku securing his presidential ticket. Political analysts indicate that the meeting signals Atiku's strategic maneuvering to secure a viable platform for his 2027 presidential ambition. However, there are strong indications that if Atiku fails to clinch the ADC nomination, he may abandon the party entirely rather than throw his support behind Peter Obi, potentially fragmenting votes and reshaping alliances as the general election approaches. This just underscores how desperate Atiku is to become president in 2027. Political analysts suggest that these moves not only expose Atiku's vulnerability, but also hand a strategic advantage to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the ruling APC, as a divided opposition could weaken any consolidated challenge to the incumbent. Atiku's apparent readiness to abandon alliances rather than support other opposition candidates, including Peter Obi, highlights the fragility of opposition unity and raises questions about the prospect of a cohesive alternative to the APC in the next general election. What do you make of this story? Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. I will see you again in the next video. This is Impact Media. Thank you.